what we do know. Now, there is a 375 billion shilling JKIA contract deal for which has been given to a company which leads a consortium of companies. That's the best way that I can put it as to how I have understood it. That it is one company that has been given that, but it belongs to a larger body of companies. Now, LSK wants to understand the details of this, whether it went through a tendering process, if it didn't go through a tendering process, as is required by law for public or state-owned assets and or companies, and the details of this 375 billion shillings and how it arrived at that. So far, so good?
I can give some information.
Please.
First of all, we know that the previous attempt to modernize the airport was the Adani saga, where some parties went to court, led by Tony Gashoka. The Law Society of Kenya was also one of the parties that participated in the court case. And Justice Mwamuye gave some court orders stopping a further concession agreement before information was made available about the Adani deal.
Yes.
So the government then chose to withdraw the Adani deal under public pressure without disclosing quite a bit of the details that were being sought. That court case is still pending, and the orders that were issued stopping the Adani project or any other concession agreement are still in place. So after that, in March this year, the relevant ministry floated a tender, a request for proposals, and more than 60 or about 60 individuals representing different organizations participated in the session that was done by the ministry together with the Kenya Airports Authority to clarify on issues of the tender. So what we have heard from our inquiries is that only two companies then put in a bid. This was meant to be an open tender. Now for design construction, it was a design and build tender with some of the financing coming immediately from the Kenya government through the infrastructure bond, some of it coming later on. And the reason why there was only two Kenyan companies, or two companies rather, that put in a tender, despite so many expressing interest, is some of the requirements in the request for proposals were quite onerous. The most significant, which was restrictive, was a requirement saying that for you to qualify to put in a bond, you must have had $100 billion 100 billion shillings or $1 billion project that you've done in Kenya. So you see, you have several companies that are very good in building airports across the world, but they've not built an airport in Kenya or in East Africa because there's not been an airport of that level being built. So, of course, they were not able to qualify, and the only companies that qualified are the ones that have done significant infrastructure projects in Kenya, which are the two Chinese companies, and one of them then was given the tender. So we are saying that there is the appearance of following the procedure, but as the Law Society of Kenya, we are asking for several things. We want to understand several things. First of all, the process that has been undertaken, is it one that is covered by the court order in the Adani case? Of course, the Adani case was talking about concession agreement. This one is titled differently, but we want to understand that. Number two, we want to understand whether there has been public participation, even in the process of coming up with the requirements in the request for proposals, which were a bit restrictive. And number three, just like in the Adani case, and as even Senator Omtata asked in regard to the SGR, the Standard Gauge Railway, and the Nairobi Expressway, we need transparency. In other words, we need to see a copy of the contract that is being entered into, so that there is relevant public participation. And in case any Kenyan is concerned about the way the procurement has been done, they can then have access to the courts or the Public Procurement Review Board or whatever other avenue there is to question it. Having said that, it is also important that we know that JKIA is in a very serious need of upgrade. In fact, you travel across the region, you find the airports of our neighbors are getting better and better, and ours is still stuck in very poor shape. So we all want to get a new airport. We want to get expanded facilities. We want Kenya to become a real hub for the region. What we are saying is that as we do so, can we ensure that we do it transparently above board, and